Welcome to the Animal Equation, where we decode the untamed world, one species at a time. Today, we journey into the skies with nature's fierce symbol of freedom and power. The legendary bald eagle. Have you ever felt a sudden, quiet stirring deep inside when you catch sight of a bald eagle? Like a flash of something ancient, a raw, fierce pulse of freedom and survival? It's not just a bird. It's a living symbol woven into the fabric of America's spirit, yet beneath the feathers and the sharp gaze lies a story far more complex and vulnerable than you might imagine. Today, I want to take you on a journey into the life of the bald eagle, its size, its habits, its battles, and its place not only in nature but within us. Because what you think you know about this majestic bird only scratches the surface. And some truths about it may surprise you or unsettle you. Let's start with the basics: size and diet. An adult bald eagle can have a wingspan up to 8 feet, that's wider than most doorways. Their powerful wings allow them to glide for hours without a flap, riding thermals like silent ghosts above forests and waterways. Their diet is primarily fish, trout, salmon, catfish, snatched from water with talons as precise as surgical tools. But bald eagles are opportunists. They'll feast on carrion, steal prey from other birds, and occasionally hunt small mammals or birds. This adaptability is part of their survival toolkit, but it also reveals a harsher side of nature, one where survival doesn't always mean honor. Nests, called eyries, are architectural marvels. Some can weigh up to a ton, built with thousands of sticks, lined with moss and feathers, perched on cliff edges or tall trees that give eagles the perfect vantage point. These nests aren't just homes, they are fortresses of legacy. But raising young is no simple task. The family faces threats daily. Rival eagles, predators, storms, and human disturbances. In the wild, the eagle's life is a constant battle between power and vulnerability. The bald eagle's range spans across North America. From the icy forests of Alaska to the humid wetlands of Florida, and even inland lakes and rivers. But they require specific habitats, clean water to hunt, tall trees or cliffs for nesting, and relatively undisturbed areas. These needs make them especially vulnerable to environmental changes. Their story is entwined with the health of entire ecosystems. But the bald eagle's story hasn't always been one of strength and survival. In the mid-20th century, this symbol of freedom came perilously close to vanishing from the wild. The pesticide DDT, widely used in agriculture, poisoned the waterways and contaminated the fish, the eagle's main food source. The result was catastrophic. Eagle eggshells thinned and broke, nests failed, populations plummeted. By the 1960s, only a few hundred breeding pairs remained in the entire United States. The eagle's fate was a silent warning about the devastating consequences of human carelessness. Yet here's the unexpected twist. People changed. Conservation efforts, legal protections like the Bald and Golden Eagle Protection Act, and the ban on DDT sparked a remarkable comeback. Today, there are over 300,000 bald eagles soaring across North America, proof that recovery is possible when we act with care. This revival is a beacon of hope for endangered species worldwide, but it's also a fragile victory. Because even now, new threats loom on the horizon. Lead poisoning, collisions with wind turbines and power lines, habitat destruction, and climate change threaten the bald eagle's future. Some dangers are less obvious than DDT but equally deadly. For example, lead from spent ammunition contaminates waterfowl, an eagle's occasional prey, poisoning the hunter. And as urban sprawl encroaches, their majestic nests are becoming isolated islands surrounded by noise and danger. It's a harsh reminder that the fight for survival never truly ends. Eagles are also masters of learning and adaptation. Juveniles spend years perfecting their flight skills, honing instincts that will keep them alive. Their talons are not just weapons, they're finely tuned tools for catching slippery fish or grappling prey midair. And their eyesight? So acute, it can spot a rabbit from 2 miles away. These traits aren't just biological facts, they're evolutionary masterpieces, honed over millions of years. Migration is another chapter in the bald eagle's life. Many northern populations journey thousands of miles each year to find food and favorable climates. This seasonal movement connects vast ecosystems and highlights the eagle's role as a sentinel of environmental health. When eagles struggle, it signals shifts in nature that can affect countless other species, including us. Beyond biology and ecology, the bald eagle holds a sacred place in human culture. For many indigenous peoples, the eagle is a messenger, a symbol of wisdom and spiritual power. Its feathers are revered and used in ceremonies, connecting the earthly and the divine. The eagle's image on the United States seal reminds us of ideals like courage and freedom. But it's worth asking, are we living up to those ideals in how we treat the natural world? Imagine dawn in the wild, the world hushed, mist curling over rivers that reflect the pale sky. Somewhere above, an eagle waits, watchful, still, every feather catching the damp air. For these raptors, patience isn't just a virtue, it's survival. Their curved beaks aren't merely sharp, they're sculpted by nature to tear flesh, snap bones, and open the door to life for themselves and their young. In every detail of an eagle's design, from talon to wingtip, lies a story of adaptation, resilience, and purpose. But survival demands conflict. Eagles clash fiercely over territory, mates, and food, sometimes locking talons and spiraling toward the earth in a test of strength and will. A single feather lost in battle might drift unseen to the river below, yet for the victor, the prize is survival, legacy, and the right to rule the skies another day. It's a brutal dance written in instinct, older than any nation or flag. Parenting for bald eagles is an act of fierce devotion. Both parents guard the nest, hunt tirelessly, and feed their young morsel by morsel. From that dizzying height, eaglets see the world unfold below them, forests, lakes, mountains, and sometimes, creeping signs of humanity. For months, the nest is their universe, a fortress of sticks balanced between sky and earth, where every gust of wind tests their future. Urban landscapes, once inhospitable, now host surprising eagle nests, on cell towers, stadium lights, even bridges. This adaptation shows remarkable resilience, but it's a double-edged sword. Noise, glass windows, power lines, and pollution all pose new dangers. The eagle's ancient skills meet modern risks in ways we're only beginning to understand. Throughout American history, the bald eagle has carried layers of meaning. To early colonists, it was untamed wilderness. To revolutionaries, it symbolized strength and independence. And through wars, social change, and modern struggles, it remains steadfast on currency, courthouses, and monuments, silently asking if we would live up to what it represents. As daylight fades, the eagle perches in quiet watchfulness. Even for such a powerful predator, survival tomorrow isn't guaranteed. A broken branch, an unlucky hunt, a hidden toxin, each day's balance is precarious. In that vulnerability, the bald eagle becomes not a distant icon, but something closer to us, a reminder that strength coexists with fragility. Education and conservation keep hope alive. Programs teach children the eagle's true story, not just glory, but struggle. Feathers protected by law become symbols of respect, not trophies. And every eagle returned to the wild becomes a small victory against a tide of threats that never fully recedes. Eagles mate for life, and together, they rebuild their nests each year, adding new sticks, patching old gaps. It's a quiet testament to endurance, the idea that protecting what matters isn't a single act, but something renewed, again and again. And it echoes a question to us: what will we rebuild, protect, and pass on to those who come after? Winter tests the mettle of even the mightiest raptor. Fish become scarce beneath the ice, and the winds bite through even the thickest plumage. Yet eagles endure, waiting, conserving energy, and trusting in their ancient instincts. In these cold months, survival is less about power and more about patience, a lesson in humility from a creature we often see only as fierce. Each wing beat over the frozen world is both risk and promise. Eagles can cover dozens of miles in search of open water or carrion left by other predators. And as they glide over forests, lakes, and plains, they tie distant ecosystems together, spreading nutrients, keeping populations in balance, and reminding us how every thread in nature is linked. Disaster can strike in an instant. A lightning storm, a heavy wind, or human interference can destroy years of effort. Yet remarkably, eagles rebuild, often in the very same spot, using what's left of the old nest. Destruction isn't an end, but an invitation to begin again. There's something deeply human in that resilience, the courage to keep building after loss. In wartime, the bald eagle took on new meaning: fierce, unyielding, a guardian of freedom. It flew on banners, aircraft, and medals, an emblem meant to inspire courage in the darkest hours. Yet while symbols can rally us, the living bird remained outside politics, following only the timeless laws of nature. Perhaps its power lies in that indifference. It is what it is, regardless of what we ask it to mean. Today, even as their numbers rise, bald eagles face subtler dangers. Plastic pollution poisons waterways, discarded fishing lines entangle talons and beaks, pesticides and industrial chemicals seep silently into the food chain. It's not a dramatic cliffhanger, but a slow erosion of health and habitat, the kind of danger hardest to see and easiest to ignore. Science now tracks eagle movements in astonishing detail. Tiny transmitters reveal migration patterns stretching thousands of miles, from Alaskan coasts to Florida marshes, from inland lakes to remote mountain ranges. These maps aren't just data, they're living stories of endurance, revealing where eagles thrive and where danger lurks. Each tracked bird becomes an ambassador, telling us how our choices echo across the continent. In the calmest moments, the bald eagle becomes something more than a predator. It is presence itself, silent, watchful, fully alive in the moment. It reminds us to pause, to see the world as it is, not as a resource to consume, but as a web of lives intertwined, fragile yet resilient. The next generation meets the eagle first in pictures, stories, and symbols. A drawing on a classroom wall can spark a lifelong curiosity. A feather seen up close can open a door to wonder. And once a child sees the real bird, wild and alive, that spark becomes a promise to protect what moves them even if they can't explain why. Mated pairs work side by side, often for decades. Each spring they return to rebuild, add, and repair, a ritual that becomes a monument to perseverance. Even if storms break the nest, the eagles return again and again. There is something quietly heroic in this shared labor, not grand gestures, but patient devotion, year after year. Wetlands are the beating heart of the bald eagle's range. Shallow waters teem with fish, hidden banks shelter nesting spots. These places appear silent, yet they hum with life. Frogs, turtles, fish, insects, and countless unseen connections. When eagles thrive in these wetlands, it means entire ecosystems are healthy, resilient, and alive. Juvenile bald eagles don't look like the icons on currency or flags. Their feathers are dark brown with scattered white patches, and their beaks lack the brilliant yellow of adults. For 4 or 5 years, they wander vast distances, sometimes thousands of miles, until they mature. In those years, each feather they lose and regrow is part of a slow, patient transformation into the emblem of power we recognize. Yet nature offers no guarantees. Storms tear nests apart, cold snaps freeze rivers solid, a single mistake in a hunt can mean starvation. What we see as strength is really a daily gamble, instincts, skill, and endurance tested against forces no creature can fully control. It's a life balanced constantly between triumph and tragedy. In winter, pairs remain close, guarding territory and each other. Their bond isn't just seasonal, it's a partnership that may last decades. Together they've faced harsh winters, lost chicks, and rebuilt homes, yet each dawn they begin again, side by side. That quiet persistence is as striking as their fierce image. Few sights match the raw elegance of an eagle hunting. A flash of movement, a single powerful dive, and talon seize life from the water. But even the best hunters fail as often as they succeed. Each catch carries the weight of survival, for the eagle, for its mate, and for the chicks waiting in the nest. Across cultures, the eagle has symbolized spirit, vision, and power. Indigenous nations see the eagle as a messenger, bridging the earthly and the sacred. European settlers adopted it as a sign of empire and strength. What these meanings share is reverence, an acknowledgement that something in this bird transcends us, reminding us of a higher connection to the living world. Sometimes, human hands join in the rebuilding. Conservationists repair damaged nests, clear trash, and remove hazards like fishing line. It's an act of humility, recognizing that while nature is powerful, our actions have left wounds that we must help heal. In each stick replaced, there's a silent promise to do better. Encounters with humans aren't always conflict. Sometimes an eagle passes silently over backyards, unseen except by those who happen to look up. It's a reminder that the wild isn't always far away. It glides silently above us, threaded through even the most familiar places. These forests, rivers, and wetlands that sustain eagles also sustain countless others. Protecting one species often shields hundreds. When we save eagles, we protect clean water, fertile soil, and the unseen tapestry of life stretching from microscopic insects to towering trees. It's not charity, it's a defense of the very systems that sustain us too. Dawn brings renewal not just to the eagle, but to everything it watches over. The slow reveal of land and sky each morning mirrors the eagle's patient vigilance. Every sunrise is another chance to hunt, to build, to protect, and to remember that survival isn't a certainty, it's earned every single day. Flight is the eagle's greatest gift and greatest risk. It is freedom and exposure, grace and danger entwined. One mistake in turbulent winds, a hidden threat from below, or poisoned prey can turn majesty into tragedy. The eagle's flight isn't a symbol because it is flawless, but because it defies gravity each time despite all that could bring it down. Behind every eagle you see, unseen hands work quietly. Researchers track their health, volunteers clean waterways, lawmakers draft protections, teachers spark curiosity in classrooms. Together, these efforts become invisible wings, lifting the species, and us, towards something better than what we've been. An eagle's nest isn't just a home, it's a promise reaching generations into the future. Within each egg lies possibility, strength, flight, and the will to rebuild what is broken. And so year after year, the pair returns, tending not just to chicks, but to the fragile thread of life itself. Storms are inevitable. The eagle endures by leaning into the wind, not away from it, a truth as old as the mountains it rides above. For us too, real strength isn't in avoiding hardship, but in meeting it clear-eyed, wings spread, heart steady. Even fallen feathers carry purpose, they become shelter for small creatures, part of the forest floor's living quilt. Nothing in nature truly goes to waste, each loss becomes part of something new. This quiet cycle holds a wisdom often missing from our own hurried world. Education plants seeds as surely as an eagle builds its nest. A story shared, a feather shown, or a single glimpse of an eagle in flight can kindle wonder that lasts a lifetime. And wonder is what turns awareness into protection, what makes tomorrow's defenders of the wild. Night brings silence, but not restlessness. Eagles roost, watch, and wait. Their stillness holds a kind of wisdom, knowing that dawn will come, and with it, new chances. For us too, the dark hours invite reflection. What do we protect? What do we risk? And what do we leave for those who follow? Look closely and you'll see, the eagle's story isn't only about power or beauty. It's about endurance, adaptation, and choices, its own and ours. In its gaze, we glimpse not just wilderness, but our role as stewards, destroyers, and, hopefully, protectors. In the end, the eagle teaches us the quiet heroism of persistence. Not through speeches or symbols, but by returning to build, to hunt, and to soar year after year, despite everything. That's where true strength lies, not in a single act, but in unwavering devotion to what matters. So next time you see a bald eagle, remember, it carries our history, our failures, our hopes. Its survival depends on us, just as our own spirit depends on the wild places that still remain. Because true freedom isn't what soars above us, it's what we choose to protect, even when no one is watching. Thanks for watching The Animal Equation. If you learned something new today, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who thinks bald eagles eat pets. Share your thoughts in the comments, and let us know which wild story we should unravel next. Until next time, stay wild.